needs really no introduction. This is Jim Cummings. He's done so many amazing titles. He's done so many amazing titles. He's Winnie the Pooh, he's Scary 2, Darkwing Duck, Mary Jack from Chippendale's Rescue Rangers.
Good old, what's his name?
There's so many. It's like I could talk for like go through scripting for a couple hours at least just to get all the shows and all the credits. But we're thrilled to have him here this year. And I'll just turn it over to questions because you want to talk to him, not listen to me.
Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday the 13th. You're all going to die. And now on a lighter note.
Start with questions.
With all the characters you've done, how do you find the voice for each one?
Geez, well, I always like to look at the drawing, look at the critter, see what he looks like, and then you kind of work with the director and the producer and see what their vision is, you know, and you know, a lot of times, you know, like if you look at a little bitty guy or something, sometimes it's fun to throw in a big gigantic voice or something, you know, go against type, and then you just mix in the personality and all the character traits about that character, and you know, you just kind of throw it all together and kind of then attach a weird voice to it somehow or another. And because you know, the thing is, it's you know, a lot of times people concentrate on the voice itself, which I guess I understand, but it's really a character first. It's a character. That's the character who just so happens to sound like that. You know, and you know, it's a signature sound, and you'll recognize the sound, but it really starts with the character and the personality of it. Like you were saying, Darkwing Duck. He was a wise guy who was very sarcastic, but he wasn't all that big, so you didn't want him to, you know, and he wasn't all that small, so you kind of met in the middle, and you mix and match, and they go, a little bit, okay, hold that, you know, and that's it. It's that complicated and that simple, I guess. Yes. Yeah.
So are you given a lot of time to sort of like look at the character, and they give you like a list of like, not necessarily a list, but like a description of what this person is like, or?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Sometimes they'll give you a prototype, but then it'll also be, you know, they'll say something like, I don't know, you know. Bruce Willis or Sylvester Stallone or something, you know, like that. You're going, oh, God forbid those two had a kid. But, you know, but one of my favorites was, and I didn't get the gig, but I remember it was the Animaniacs was Yakko Warner, and they were saying that he would sound like Harpo Marx, but Harpo never spoke. So I thought, oh, that's good. And you know, it was just so ridiculous, and it was funny because at the time I said, well, this is weird, but everything you're describing sounds like, I think that a Liverpool accent would be lovely, and I thought that would be really funny, because everybody sort of has a thing for the Beatles, even if you're not as old as me and don't remember them all that well, and I remember, and I told him this like 10 years afterward, and he goes, no, that's
Stupid, man. They're from America. That's a really stupid idea. Do you have anything else?
Well, yeah, I suppose. And then at that point, I just wanted to leave. And about 3 weeks later, he said,
You know, I have a great idea. I think one of these guys should sound like a Beatle. And so, you know.
And of course, I was gone. And my buddy just got the gig, so but that's cool. So it's a circuitous route. You know, if they have a prototype or two, though, it's kind of good to go that way, you know, because a lot of times they'll say, you know, like Morgan Freeman's big right now, Morgan Freeman and different people, and they'll say, well, Morgan Freeman-esque. And my joke is, can I do Morgan Freeman-like? You know? So, I don't know. Did that answer your question? Probably not.
Down in front over here.
Yeah, you've done voices of characters from everything from Winnie the Pooh to villains like Rasputin in Anastasia. Which would you say you prefer to do? You know, the lighter, more fun characters, or the more evil, darker characters?
Probably the evil guys. They're more fun. You know, I mean, you know, there's Boy Scouts, and we need them. We need heroes and everything, but you know, it's great because you can always get, you know, it's always fun to make sure the villain gets his comeuppance and you're writhing in agony at the end and everything. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. But it's, in general, it's a little more fun because you can be a little more sarcastic and a little more vitriolic and a little just crazier with it. And I tend to, excuse me, I tend to never say the words they write. And so villains just get to ad-lib more, I think. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. But I love them both. I mean, you know, I got a movie coming out called Zambezia, in which I really am a bastage. And I get ready to eat Samuel L. Jackson and everything. It's great. And he just totally annihilates me in the end, and it's really, oh, no, I ruined it. Oh, God. Anyway, don't go see it. Just kidding. But as long as it's fun. But, you know, they're both fun. As long as they keep calling me, I'll keep coming up with something. Yes, sir.
Try and get somebody who hasn't asked a question yet. Anybody? Hand back here.
Okay. I happen to have loved you in the Splatterhouse game. I thought you did a fantastic job. That was a more, well, no, there's nothing to be. I was just curious, like, was it a different take for you to be doing something just that extreme and violent, as opposed to like
Yes.
other things? Okay.
Yeah. That is a turbo villain on steroids. He actually was on steroids, come to think of it, wasn't he? It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was an interesting one. Yeah, we were just, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that was a different one, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't even play those games, and people come up to me and they'll say different games, and I'll kind of ring a bell, and what is that from? And I go, remember you said that? I went, oh God, yeah, don't tell me about that. I want to talk about Winnie the Pooh, you know. It's pretty crazy.
Anybody else? Next question. Go back up front and around the board.
Growing up, did you always feel like you wanted to be a voice actor, or did you have different aspirations growing up?
No, I was going to do this my whole life, since I was about 4. I knew I'd either be a singer, a musician, just a face actor, voice actor, or paint on walls or something for a living. And I did them all. You know, I was a musician and everything. So I need a new bucket list, man. But I knew I wasn't going to be a dancer. But no, when I was really a little kid, Paul Winchell, the original Tigger, had a show. Jerry Mahoney and Paul Winchell, he had these two ventriloquists. I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And I knew that he did voices, and then I remember my dad saying something about, Mel Blanc was on a TV show, and he goes, you see this guy? That's Bugs Bunny right there. That's Daffy Duck. I go, what? You know, and he goes, yeah, and then when Mel talked, you could sort of hear a little in his own speaking voice, and I go, wow, that is him. And all I could think of was that this guy's getting paid really good money for stuff that gets me kicked out of class. I want to be him. You know, because I wasn't going to stop being worthy of being kicked out of class, but if I could get somebody to pay me for it, that'd be more better. So I always kind of knew I'd be aiming in this direction. I knew I wouldn't have a time card or a tie.
My question was related to the one you were talking about before, heroes or villains. Do you feel like it's sort of more fun to play almost an anti-hero type, like Darkwing Duck? He does well and he does the right thing, but he still gets to be sarcastic, trying to get the best of both.
Yeah, Darkwing, he's one of my favorites anyway. Yeah, because he kind of had it all. You know, it was just a fun character, and you know, it was fun to watch him win, and it was fun to watch him lose. You know, and so yeah, I think so. He's right there in the middle. I don't even know where to put him. He and Don Carnage, and probably Ray from Princess and the Frog, and I probably have, you know, Pooh and Tigger for different reasons, but I have my favorites. But once I start doing that, I go, oh, but wait, you know, there was, and I almost, you know who I almost forgot is, but I can't forget to remember to tell you about, and then I'm doomed. So I'll just stop there, because we'll be here all day. Would you ask a question, please? I have a question for you. Why aren't you asking a question?
Me?
No, I'm just kidding. Play with your son.
Right there.
You've worked, hi.
Hello.
You've worked on a lot of projects with Disney. I was just wondering how that relationship has developed, has continued to develop, if it's changed at all since you were originally working on like.
No, geez, well, I always kind of joke around that between them and DreamWorks, I'm like the token non-face celebrity guy that, You know, I don't know. I think if it's changed, I guess maybe they just kind of know me now, and they'll say, well, this isn't working out. Well, this guy stinks, or some really I seem to have replaced like really famous face actors occasionally, and I think maybe one thing that would have been a change is that they go, well, where's this coming from? You know, okay. You know, but I don't know if that represents a change so much as just progress or whatever. But yeah, I love it. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, there's pictures of me in my Davy Crockett hat, and everybody's like, Davy Crockett, what's that? Well, many moons ago, there was a TV show. But between that and you had my Mickey Mouse Club T-shirt on. I was in love with Annette, and so it's changed. It's changed since those days, that's for sure. Yeah, but I still have to call ahead. You got to beg, borrow, and steal to get a ticket into Disneyland. You'd think after having like on 10 rides and singing out the songs, they let me in, but no. Some things don't
Still gotta wait
change.
in line for Space Mountain.
Space Mountain?
Yeah.
What about it?
No, I'm just saying you still gotta wait in line for it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So see.
I actually do have a question. For people getting into voice acting, for younger voice actors, do you have any advice on sort of way to go about it?
You bet. You know, I didn't really do it on purpose, but you know, I was accidentally in training, kind of, all through grade school or high school, because I used to like being in plays, you know, and I was always in bands. I was always a singer and a drummer, and you know, when I was 12, instead of trying out for the role of the young prince, I'd want to be the evil wizard or the king or some crazy knight or something, because it was just more fun to play, and you kind of stretch your chops that way, you know, pushes you outside your comfort zone a little bit, and it pushes your imagination, pushes your improv skills and things like that, and so I can't, you know, I think community theaters, puppet shows, I mean anything that speaks to that, you know, that gets that muscle out there and working, do it, you know, speech team, you know, if you have that in your school. Excuse me, and just, you know, all of that goes toward building a sort of a background or a Rolodex of characters. Like I've always said that if you do a really bad impression and nobody knows who the heck it is, well, that's a new character, you know, if you do the worst John Wayne in the world, and that doesn't sound a thing like John Wayne, it sounds like some old cowboy. Well, that's what I was going for. That's what I thought it sounded like, you know, and you kind of sneak your way in that way. And I used to do impressions of my family, my aunts and uncles and teachers, and I've often wondered if the best example is when I was a kid, I was a deckhand on a riverboat in New Orleans, and this guy, gosh, it was the early 70s, and he was about 78. And then go like they did that one. You couldn't understand what that wild man was talking about, yeah, you know, like that. And I said, I'm so sorry, what did you say? You know, and that guy ended up being Leatherhead on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles about 15 years later. And I often wondered if his grandkids are going, hey, Grandpa, come in here. Listen to this guy. What y'all gonna do, y'all turtles? I'm gonna get y'all. Sound familiar? You know, because I'm telling you, he was dead on to this guy. So, you know, and nobody knows Léonce Leblanc from Thibodaux, Louisiana, except me. Now, don't tell anybody. But, you know, if you do a bad impression or just an impression of somebody you don't know, like my Aunt Grace, God rest her soul, she was a lot of, like, punch-drunk fighters. Because in my mind, I always thought that she sort of sounded like that. And God bless her heart, it was my Aunt Grace, but whenever they would say, well, this is like a punch-drunk boxer, or he's had his head caved in, or he's you know, a few tacos short of a combo plate. Well, I could do my Aunt Grace if you want. She's perfect. You know? So there you have it. Let's get Aunt Grace.
Hi, James from Dog2 Media. Just a quick question. Do you wish that there's any characters you could go back and redo the voice or change something small with them, or any aspect of it?
Sometime. I mean, like right now I got like a little raspy allergy, but that's the only time I think when I'm sick or something. What is that? POYOTT, to practice on your own time, perform on ours. You know, you want to do just enough prep so you can go in. You don't want to leave the fight in the gym, I always say. But you know, I tend to just do like 3 or 4 takes and try to. I just think instincts are the best things, which is a fantastic quote, I'm sure. But it's just, you know, if you do your best right then and there, you know, you can't. I mean, I've seen like a show or two and said, oh, you know what I should have said. There's a few of those out there, but it's not enough to think about or worry about. Hopefully. I wish I had a better answer for that. Right? How about that right now? I wish there's one now. Yeah.
Try and get somebody who hasn't asked a question yet. Anybody over here? Okay.
But maybe we're done.
Go back over here and then go here.
I was just gonna say, is there any characters in particular that you found very challenging, either in the execution or trying to figure out what kind of voice you're going to use for them?
Gosh. Well, I think once you nail them down, I mean, you know, there's that sort of a little search process while you're refining it and going for it. But yeah, I think once you're there, you're there. You know, you kind of stick with it, and I can't really. Nothing comes to mind. So far, so good. Yeah.
Back to kind of developing the voices.
Mm-hmm.
When you get stuck, do you have a process you go through to kind of push you past that block?
I don't think so. I don't know what stuff means. Well, I mean, if you just, you know, if God, what there was one just recently. Oh, well, there's just certain things you just can't do. Like recently, you know, my good friend, God bless him, Wayne Allwine, passed away. And they wanted me to kind of take a shot at Mickey, and I just didn't think I had a good enough Mickey in me. And so I guess I was stuck, but I didn't. But I missed Wayne so much, I didn't want to be Mickey anyway, because I still wanted him to be there. So that probably doesn't really qualify for your question, but no, I mean, if I just think I'm not doing a good job, I just kind of won't submit. You know, if I don't like what I'm doing, then I don't think other people would. That doesn't really happen very often. It's never happened. Now it'll happen all the time. Thanks. I'm doomed. It is Friday the 13th. God, next question, quick.
Take one more question.
Just kidding.
Right in the back here.
Have you ever gotten the scripts with something like completely ridiculous in it, and you asked them to change it or something? Or
I don't even ask, I just do it.
Oh.
No, I mean, some of them are just horrible, and terrible. But really, the only time I can remember that on a consistent basis was from Murakami Wolf, and they were doing this weird little non-union thing a million years ago, and it was like Aladdin. It came out right after the movie Aladdin, and they were ripping it off, and I think it only went to like India or you know, one of the stands, and it was just the worst writing in the world. And I was going, oh my God! But that was like the only time. You know, and you know, you give them one that's scripted, and I'll usually do, you know, like I say, I'll throw 1 or 2 things out there, and sometimes they keep it, sometimes they don't. So I don't make a big deal out of it. Because even if the writer's there, it's like, you know, you don't want to get that look. So you just do it and let them. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. You know, it's easier.
All right, let's give Jim a round of applause.
Oh.
We're going to take another 2-minute break, and then we're